Yo, what's going on YouTube, Facebook, and everybody in the world? Cyclops TV here from Twitch. And I got something I want to, get off my chest a little bit because I feel like there's still a lot of confusion yet on God in the Bible and things like that. So I actually wanted to clear this up in a way that was easier for me to understand. Okay, it's not like I'm going to go ahead and just preach you guys a sermon. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to break it down in a way that helps me, being a logical person that I am, who loves science and logic and God. How in the world do those three things work? Well, let me go ahead and try to explain to you the best way that I know how. And of course, I wrote it down so I have something I can actually go off of to make sure that it comes out correctly. So bear with me. The logic in the Bible. Psychologically, the Bible demonstrates real human events that we can learn from. It hits home because we are also human and can relate to many of its circumstances. That's why the Bible has so many stories in it. It's not just something that was just thrown in there for no reason. It's something that we can relate to because these were real people with real issues that really tried to do their best, or that they didn't try to do their best, and we can learn from it regardless, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So what does the Bible do? It taps into the human psyche, the inner motives of the heart and mind. It challenges the ideas of society, both ancient society and civilizations, and also the future ones. With it, it also it filters with wisdom. And wisdom, for example, is colorfully painted as a symbol of a woman in the Bible. Someone that can hold things together it's almost like you're able to weave the world with wisdom because these are principles and laws that were written down long before. It's interwoven to the way that the universe is. And you live by those things and you will get something great out of it, perhaps even prosperous. Anyway, wisdom brings about a good life. And being able to take hold of these laws and principles, similar to the laws like Earth's gravity, that we have time, and any of those other ones that we all place into the realm of science. We do that because we simplify these terms as evidences. Doing so makes it easier for us to digest and clarify the world around us, which is great. So, in the same notion, wisdom and the Holy Spirit are also known as the counselors that work behind the scenes. You can't see them, but they're there and they work every time. It's a part of our system. It's the way that the universe was created by God as a whole. These are behind the scenes of our daily life. These are the inner motives of the human body, spirit, and mind. See, it hits all three of those things that make up who we are as people. These are the laws of who we ought to be like, to have a good life, to be at peace with ourselves and others around us. These principles can be used to build and create new connections to the world, meaning that if you're living a bad life, if you start adapting these principles and laws that are already here, whether you knew God or you don't know God, they're here and they've been here and they're constantly moving, just like you got gravity and you got time, and it's nonstop. It's a part of what it is that we live in. This is our realm, and having wisdom and having the Holy Spirit guide us and be a counselor for us, we can create these new worlds. We can create the worlds around us. If you're living a bad life, you have the potential inside of you, through God, through the universe, to flip this on you. A lot of people call this The Secret. That was a big book back in the day, but any big book, whether it's financially, whether it's The Secret, and they talk about this new way of living or the new age spiritual realm of things. It's not new. This has been around forever, and it works because it's a part of the fabric of the universe that we are pulling from. So just like in science, when you have terms like logic and you have time and you have things like that, when you have gravity, it's just a way of putting a name to it so we as humans can understand. Just like the word nothing. Nobody has ever seen nothing. Even if you close your eyes, you still see black. You see the inside of your eyelids. You never see nothing because you've always been a part of something. You were born, you were created, you woke up into a world. You've never seen nothing, just like I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let me just keep going. The Bible is powerful in the idea that we need to change our hearts and inner motives to be more like the Creator, to understand the world that He created and abiding by the laws He established in our own personal lot in life. God is over all things, but in order to feel satisfied, there is a cosmic order to the universe that God has created, which I've mentioned before. What does the Bible do, though? The Bible peers deep into the mind, the body, and the spirit, in showing us how to live a life that can live peacefully under these basic principles and laws. We can't escape them. We are a part of them, and whether you want to go against them, you're going to reap the benefits. Reap the benefits, or you're going to get the worst out of it. If I were to jump off a cliff, gravity is not a good thing. But if I want to fly an airplane and I'm in the air, it's probably good that I built an airplane around gravity, and now I understand its principles. And instead of being afraid of it, we can actually put a 20-ton freaking can opener, or a can up in the air with wings, and it just starts going, because we understand. We don't let gravity hold us back, but we adapt to gravity, just like we should adapt to the Holy Spirit, or adapt to wisdom and understand it, incorporate it into our lives. It's not something that holds us down. It's something that builds us up, like it separates us from a normal person's logical way of thinking. Instead, this gives you a little bit of an advantage, because now you can actually potentially create your own world, knowing that it's there to begin with. A lot of people don't even know it's there, and it's wild. In doing so, you can reap the prosperous life, which being granted access into the main source, where all good, wise, and righteous things belong. The Bible calls this place heaven, a place where everything comes together that's as good, righteous, loving, peace, everything you can ever want, because there's absolutes. You got black, you have white, you have light, you have darkness, you have good, you have evil, you have heaven, and you have hell, because there has to be a deciding factor between these two ultimates, or absolutes, whatever you want to call it. But being He created this bridge, the Bible calls this place heaven, and Jesus is the only way to enter this realm. So why did I bring up Jesus? Because in order for you to understand the two concepts between wisdom and counseling, just like you understand gravity, time, and any other, law of thermodynamics and other things like that, once you have these principles in your head, those are the logical upfront ones that we can put into science. And then you have the spiritual ones that we can't quite see. Similar to gravity, you can't see gravity, but it's there, and you see the benefits of it or the bads of it, or that it's there to begin with. And that's what it does when you have Jesus, is the bridge between the two. It's not a physical thing so much as it's more of an internal spiritual consciousness of who we are as people. It's not that you're, you know what I'm talking about. Being created the bridge, the righteousness, and God's ultimate resting place for our spirits, which was heaven. With that being said, the Bible shares stories of ordinary men and women trying to live their life accordingly to these laws and principles. See, the idea isn't to become perfect here on earth, but rather try to practice godly awareness, to understand that there is things out there that you're maybe not focusing on, in order for you to create and manifest a good life. We will never be perfect. There are many issues with all of us, so we shouldn't ever blame anybody. We shouldn't blame ourselves. We shouldn't blame our neighbors. We can't even blame God or the Bible or the people that don't understand who God is, or the people who've never read the Bible, because they're not understanding that. You're not really mad at somebody. You're actually mad at I don't want to say ignorance, because it's kind of a strong word these days, but ignorance in the fact that somebody is just not accepting or understanding the concepts behind what the Bible really is trying to portray, rather than it just being a criticizing book that just damning people the hell left and right, and if you don't follow it, you're done. It's you're missing the reasoning behind that. It's a lot deeper than just used as the end all, hit somebody over the head kind of book. No, it's the words in the science and in the logical thinking behind it that makes the world run the way it is. So a lot of people ask God, why does God allow children and family members and starving kids in Africa. Like, why does he allow all these things to happen? If he's God, he can clearly just intervene in all this and we could just call it a day. But he doesn't. Why doesn't he do that? This makes people angry because you wonder and you're shouting up and down. And you're like, well, why would I believe in a God that's not even helping anybody? Well, this is the part that I was trying to tell you guys before, is that a lot of people think that God is able to just do whatever he needs to do. And he is, in a sense. But the problem is that we have free will. So let me explain free will real quick before you just end the video and be like, I didn't learn anything out of this. I want to make sure you get this, is that when God created man and woman, he gave us dominion over this planet. When he gave us free will and he gave us this planet, he gave us free will and he gave us this planet, and he did not intervene with this anymore. He was done. He gave it to us to take care of it. So you're saying God can't fix it? No. He can't, because we are the caretakers now. The reason you have starving kids in Africa is because we are not giving out the right resources and food to do this. We have greedy politicians, we have greedy people in higher government, we have greedy people just in general. You're not dealing with just starving kids in Africa. You're really dealing with that inner motive psyche of the human psyche of wisdom, understanding, the Holy Spirit counseling. We're lacking that. We're lacking the human motive and a godly understanding to be able to promote the good. See, God can't intervene, but he can send people who understand this to make it a difference with it, rather than just having this. Is the same goes for, like, sex trafficking and anything that's just anything bad or related to those kind of things. It's not that God allows it. He's not allowing it. He doesn't want it to happen. And he keeps saying that over and over again, but people keep thinking that he's just like, he's cool. He's just not, he doesn't care. Oh no, he cares very much. It's just that people are not going to the source to find out how much he really cares. Rather, you just sum up the excuses and you throw it on God, and then you don't do anything about it. We just complain. The world gets worse. People aren't recycling. The world is just falling apart, and it's all God's fault. But it's not. It's not God's fault. It's our fault. Our fault. We are the caretakers. We have dominion. God is watching. He is waiting for somebody to pick that up and start making the world a better place. So he can't use outside things. He can't change it that way, but he can change you on the inside. And through you, you will see God. You need to be the vessels of God and reanimate the world again through the source of power, which is him. Because why do we need to do this, though? Because it's genuine, it's perfect, it holds true, and it never has bad motives, ever. So we need to go back to the source. We need to stop living in this fantasy world that we have everything together and we understand the world and we're all just a bunch of animals, and expect that we are just going to evolve any further. We're not going to go any further. I believe in evolution when it comes to within the species, within our mindset, within the way that technology evolves and things evolve like that. Sure, but overall, we are so lost when it comes to our priorities in life. Like, what are we doing? How do we not have a cure for cancer? Or if we do, why are you all milking the insurance? Why are you claiming that, I don't really know. I could just really go on a whole rant with this. I just shouldn't. But it's the idea, I'm just trying to show you the bad part of life. There's a lot of all that going on that could all be worked out if we all go back to the source and go back to the reasoning and the laws and the principles. Yeah, it's in the Bible, and that happens to be that book that has all of these answers in it. And if there was another book that had anywhere close to or greater than those things, then that would be considered the Bible. But as of right now, this is the book. This is the book that puts it all together. We call it the Bible because it's easy for us as humans to digest a book with words, and it builds the imagination inside of our minds of what we need to do to accomplish things in life. Anyway, I appreciate you guys dealing with my rant. I kind of hope that adds that logical sense of the Bible rather than just being some fluffy thing that we just use to bash people over the heads with. And that's a Christian. That's all they do. It's a lot more complicated than that. And they shouldn't even be doing that. Like, I don't even know. I'm not that kind of a Christian. So to me, I mean, look at me, dude. I'm all tattooed up. I'm just a real dude, just streaming, just trying to live a good life. I'm a father. I got a house. I'm just a normal dude. I work a 9 to 5. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to start crap with anybody. I'm just letting you guys know you can make a difference. And you should rely on God, because he's going to give you the right answers to your problems, give you that satisfied and peaceful life. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate you guys checking it out. And hope to see you guys on the Twitch stream some night. That'd be cool. All right, y'all. Take it easy.